Hi everyone, welcome to this video in Tableau. We're looking at conditional formatting. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's formatting based on a condition. Here, we're formatting the sales figures to be green and to be a little bit larger. Right now, the target's 3,000. So if they're above the 3,000 value, they're going to be formatted this way. If I change the value to something like 8,000, now the formatting is conditional and it changes. Now, if I change the year, we can see that 8,000 value for these 2 months or these 2 days are going to change. How do we do this? It's pretty straightforward. I'm going to walk you through all the steps. I'm going to show you in a new worksheet from scratch. Okay, so we're going to drag our sum of sales over here from our tables and just going to find the sales data point. It's in our measures. We're going to bring that up into the rows and then our order date up here. And I'm going to just click this drop down and do the day. Now we can see we're already starting to look like the other chart. I can minimize the size a little bit. The reason it's looking a little bit more cluttered is because it's not being filtered. Right now, oh no, it is being filtered. It just wasn't being filtered by, if it was being filtered by all the years, then you'd see this. So right now, it's just copying the filter from the other page, but yours might not do that automatically. Okay, so for 2016, we've got this data. Now, how do we actually start creating the calculated or the conditional formatting? We can start by creating a parameter. We can call this target2, and we can make it 1,000. And I'm going to make it an integer so that we don't have to worry about any decimal places. Perfect, target2 exists. We can right click and show it up here so that we can edit this dynamically. And now I can make it 2,000 if I want. You'll notice nothing changes. All I have to do up here is I can right click and create a calculated field. And then we can paste in that formula from earlier, which is an if statement with a then, an else, and an end. Okay, you can just copy that there. And we can call this our target condition. Okay, hit OK. And now we just have to drag this onto color. And we can see it automatically applies the colors there. And we can drag again the target 2 onto size. And now the ones above the target 2,000 are going to change. If we want to change these colors, we just have to go into the color formatting settings and edit the color settings here. Edit colors, and anything below target we can make gray. Anything met target we can make green. Okay, just like that. If you want to edit the size a little bit, that too. To turn on the data labels like the other chart had, we can just click this, and then we can make them a little bit bigger so it's a bit easier to read, and make sure it's automatic for all of the alignment. Perfect. And just like that, we've got conditional formatting. If you wanted to show an average line, like what's in the other one, you can just add the average line in the Analytics tab at the top here. We close the formatting settings and go to Analytics. We can add the average line here by clicking and dragging onto the table, and it automatically places the average for that series. If I double click, I can edit this, and I can change all of the formatting settings here by making it wider, the color, the opacity settings, and all of that. There you go. We've got that chart nice and finished. So what's happening here is we've got our order date fill and we've got our sum of sales. And I'm just using Global Superstore sample data. Okay, nothing fancy happening here, but this is a measure. Okay, we've got a filter on year, which is allowing us to have this drop down. And then we've got these two action states. This is from a dashboard. Don't worry about that. That's just because I'm using this as a filter in another sheet. So the real magic of what's happening here is we've got a parameter called our sales target, and we've got a calculated field called our target condition. To create a parameter, you right click, create parameter. And to show you what this parameter settings are, I can just click edit. Inside the parameter settings, we've got the name, the data type, and the format value. Now 8,000 is the current value, and we could create a hard-coded list of values here if we wanted to. And we could just keep adding to these and then have a drop-down list on the side, or we could create a range of values for the user to slide pick from. I'm going to keep it as all and then leave the value as 3000. Okay. We can also change the display format up here. Once you click OK, that's going to change this here. How do I get the value to show on the right-hand side? Just like our filters, we can show filter or hide the filter, okay, by right-clicking and clicking show filter. We can do the same with our parameter. We can right-click and show parameter, and then it appears on the right-hand side. Now the user has access to changing this number dynamically. All right, so once you've got that, your chart might look something like this, okay? And how do we get the condition or that parameter to actually be applied to the formatting? Well, we have to create what's called a calculated field by right-clicking and creating a calculated field. The one I've got is already called target condition, and the formula inside is just a simple if statement. If the sum of sales is less than our sales target, that's the parameter we just created down here, then we're going to output below target as a string. Else, we're going to output met target. This is basically just splitting it up into two sections. You could say 0 and 1. But because I type out below target and met target, with the colors, it'll actually show up here in the legend. Once you've typed that out, you can click OK, and then we can drag this target condition onto the formatting that we want to change. First, I'll drag it onto color, and then we can actually edit the colors up here and choose the below target or met target colors. I'm choosing gray so that anything below the target is just blending into the chart, and anything that's met the target is green for good. We can also edit the size of our target condition, so we can drag that calculated field onto the size parameter, and then you can actually edit the size of when it's above the target. This is a little ridiculous, but if you do a little slight modification like that, it helps stick out those data points just a little bit. All right. And then we can move this obviously into a dashboard, and you can have something that looks like this, where they can actually interact with that parameter and dynamically change the values. Okay. So that's how we create conditional formatting. Thanks for watching.